In fact, thanks again, Harry, for organizing these kind of summits across India and really disseminating knowledge about Electricity Act and modification and its implications. It's very important for all of us to know the impact and convey our opinion back to the government so they take the right decision and the electricity sector and the market improves well in the right perspective. You already heard a lot about, Harry has spoken a lot and Suhas has spoken a lot about all the changes which are coming. I will simply give you some of the views from the generator's perspective, what's happening. The major change that we have talked about the carries and content in the Electricity Act. Now what is happening, in my opinion, the Electricity Act, the electricity reforms we started since 1995, first the generation, then the transmission we started something, then the Electricity Act came in, then the power exchanges came in, then the regulatory commission came in, and we have seen that the reforms in the generation sector has added a lot of capacities in India. Reforms in transmission sector which started but stopped somewhere midway. Reforms in distribution sector that started but because of political reasons stopped midway. And because of the stoppage of reforms in the transmission and the distribution sector, generation sector suffered a lot despite the full-blown reforms, despite a lot of capacities coming up. We have seen that the capacities are available, but the power is really not reaching to the people whenever they need it because of the bottlenecks created in the transmission sector and the distribution sector. Now, coming to the distribution sector, the carries and content is extremely important for this purpose because it's a politically sensitive subject. And that's why some reforms started with the privatization of distribution companies started initially, where we have seen the Bombay, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Surat, and some of the other cities became private for distribution. But then again it stopped, and then the franchisee arrangement was experimented. That also did not take us long. The carries and content modification in the Electricity Act, from that perspective, is extremely important because it will bring in the needed reforms, though there are a lot of confusions right now how to implement it, but it will bring in the needed reforms in the distribution sector, where the buyer will have a right to choose the supplier. So there will be distribution licensee and there will be supplier licensee. And like the transmission companies are charging, they're the transmission of wheeling charges, distribution companies will only be charging their own local wheeling charges, and the supplier will supply. Today the scenario is, if a distribution company is not giving me power because whatever reasons they are not doing well, or they don't have power, they don't want to buy power, or because they have to serve the larger regions and they're not able to recover the cost of power. The buyer wants to pay for it, but buyer has no choice. They have to stick to the same distribution company. And this change, as and when get fully implemented, like Suhas mentioned that we should do it as an experiment some places and then expand it to the whole country. But as and when this is implemented, it will bring a remarkable change in the power sector. It will make the electricity completely sold as a commodity. So the buyer will be able to change the supply from one to another. The only problem here that what we are seeing presently is the distribution company also has a power source. Like right now presently we have the state-owned distribution companies, the state-owned generating companies, and that's where the conflict of interest comes in, from where they want to source the power. And as we go along, probably this kind of conflict of interest will have to be taken care of. This will also probably make the open access easier, because today the distribution companies also have a vested interest in not allowing consumers to buy power from whatever source they want to buy. So they create a lot of problems, technical problems or otherwise other kind of hindrances they create. And then open access, though it is there in the Electricity Act, but it's not available, because like we have as a generator, we have faced this problem quite often, that when we want to sell power within the state to a consumer directly, the open access problem created by the distribution companies has really made it very, very difficult to sell power openly in the market. And the same applies to the buyer also. Whenever they want to buy power, cross-subsidy charges are levied arbitrarily, and open access problems are created, line restrictions are imposed, so it causes a lot of problem. But I feel that when the carries in content changes are brought in, they are implemented, this open access problem will be taken care of. And this will also have an advantage that if the consumer wants to buy power and distribution companies are not giving it because of many reasons, they can always change the supplier. As with the new change that will be possible, it will be possible that the consumers who want to pay higher charge for power, they will be able to get power from a different supplier. Another change that is coming up is the rationalization of tariff, where the Regulatory Commission will be empowered to primarily look at the tariff and suo motu take a decision, because we have seen in the past, like Tamil Nadu and many other places, where the tariff has not been looked into for a very long time, making the distribution companies unviable and creating the problem in the whole process. But when we are talking of the tariff as such, rationalization of tariff does not mean the higher tariff all the time. In fact, Harry talked about the higher tariff in his speech. Right now, we have done one study that if you are generating 100 unit, finally what is getting received is only for 44 units. So the difference is lost out in the whole process. The process starts from auxiliary consumption, it starts from transmission, it starts from distribution, it starts T&D losses, and it starts delayed receivables from the consumer. So recovery is extremely less, and that what makes the tariff very high. In fact, considering that the energy cost is falling world over, we have to look at reducing the tariff rather than increasing the tariff. But maybe the reduction in the tariff comes once we bring in all the efficiency in the system as we are talking about. Maybe initially there is a need to raise the tariff and then to bring it down subsequently. But reduction in the tariff or reduction in the energy cost in India is extremely important, and it's a must for the survival of our economy. That's what I feel, because the world over energy cost is falling, and if our energy cost remains very high, we will, in an international market, will become very, very uncompetitive. So to remain competitive, it's extremely important, but not necessarily that we just reduce the tariff by regulatory mechanism, by force of law. What is needed is that we have to bring in efficiency in the system, and for that purpose, we have to work at all the levels. Then another important point that is coming up is the performance of Regulatory Commission, where there will be forum of regulators, and they will look at the performance of the commissions and the members, and they will ensure that the commission acts fast, because as a generator, we sell power in various states, and we have faced a problem in many of the states, because nowadays what is happening that distribution companies have more or less taken a stand that whatever request comes from the supplier of power, just say no to it. I have also seen the very, very important subjects which requires application of mind. The letter goes to demand something or ask for something, and the next day later comes denial for it. So what it says, the buyer of the power, distribution companies, are just not applying their mind. The first thing they say is to no to everyone, is like some insurance companies do in some cases. So once they say no, the choice left out to the supplier of power is to go to Regulatory Commission and ask for a decision on it. So file the papers, and then the hearing starts. So what we have experienced that it takes a hell lot of time. Dates are normally given a couple of weeks, number of hearings, very shorter time for hearing, and the whole purpose of setting up regulatory commissions in all the states, if it takes a longer time, gets lost. So I feel that probably this will also help the system. Renewable energy has already been talked at length by Suhas, but renewable energy will certainly increase the cost, but we have to look at the ways and means to reduce the cost of the renewable energy also, considering that it is also crucial for the country, because we have to maintain the environment also. As our 60% power comes from coal, and as we are looking at 8% GDP growth going forward, we'll have to double the power capacity in India. And for the time being, what we see is that the whole power coming from coal is just not possible. Hydro, we have a capacity, but hydro has its own problems. So another source left out for us is to renewable energy. And if we are looking at a large scale renewable energy, then solar and others, then probably the cost of power generation will go down, and we have to really work towards that. Then there was also a question that Harry raised about that the short-term power is cheaper than a long-term, and the short-term power, and that has causing a lot of problem, because generally the long-term power should be cheaper than a short-term, and it's the other way around is happening. There are multiple reasons for that. One, the health of the distribution companies is not allowing them to go for a long-term power purchase, because they're not sure of the availability of money and the recovery of money from the suppliers. So since they don't go for a long-term demands not available, generating companies have no avenues left out for them to sell power on a long-term basis, so they are selling it a short-term. Since the buyers are less in short-term, so there is a scramble to sell power and at least survive for generating companies, and that's what exactly is happening for some time. And another major problem why it is less, because of the transmission bottleneck in the country, we have created in the country islands of deficit and island of surpluses. We have in western region a lot of power bottled up. In southern region, we don't have a power. So we just can't transfer power. And I have seen sometimes in the harvesting season, even sending more than 2,000 megawatt to Punjab and Rajasthan and Haryana was extremely difficult. So western region to northern region, and then the southern region, the grid is not fully functional. Functional means it's not functional to the requirement and the power availability. We have a power in the western region, we have a power in the eastern region, and going forward, more power will be available in this region because the more mines are there. So it's cheaper to carry power than carry coal. So more and more power plants going forward will also come in these regions only. And we have to take care of the transmission line, and that will take care of this anomaly, plus the reforms in the distribution sector that carries and content that is coming in. I'm quite hopeful that going forward, probably the situation will reverse. And the kind of questions which are there right now in the minds of everyone, how we are going to implement carries and content in the country, whether should we do it at a small scale and then expand it, or should we do it a full-blown case. And there are a number of issues raised. We have to find out answers, and we have to go on. But I feel that this is the next major reform coming in a distribution sector, and this will transform the way we do business in electricity business in India. Thank you.
Mr. Maru, before I invite Dr. Deo to react, I have two questions to ask you very quickly. You said that content and carriage is a good thing, and my question to you is, who are you going to sign your PPA with long term once the new legislation comes in? And the second question is pertaining to, you mentioned that solar energy and this energy is pretty good. Who's going to pay for it? These 2 points I thought I'd react. But the first point was very important, that who are you going to sign your long-term PPAs with under SBD2?
The long-term PPA will be signed with the supply licenses. This is to be developed as we go along. It's just a concept at this level. Probably purchases will shift from distribution companies to supply licensees. Like we have wholesalers in the goods in Indian market, where the manufacturing companies sell it to the larger wholesaler, and larger wholesaler sells it to the smaller wholesalers. From smaller wholesalers, it go to the retail sector. So that particular chain of a wholesaler and the small retail will come in the country. And when the licenses are given separately, the licenses are separated from distribution license to a supply license, there will be a separate entities coming up for holding the supply license. They will buy it and they will sell power through the distribution companies and using their network. That's first. And we'll have to wait and watch, and development of this will take time. Second point is about the solar power. I still remember that in 2004, I met the world's largest solar power company's chairman, First Solar. He came from USA. And I told him that we want to set up a 1,000 megawatt solar power plant in India. So what price we can do it? So he said about 10 rupees power will be generated. So I said that we don't want to depend on the government subsidy to make it viable on a long-term basis. Can we bring it down to 4 rupees? He said not possible. And he went and set up 3,000 megawatt PV plant in China thereafter. But what was talked in 2004 and 5, where we were talking of 10 rupees solar power cost, today has gone down to 4 to 4.5 rupees. The point here is the technology is changing very fast. We have to create the right environment so as to bring down the cost of solar power. And I feel that when we go for a large scale capacities, the cost will go down. And it is a must and it is needed, because going forward we cannot depend on 300,000 megawatt to come largely from coal, because we don't have many other sources of power. Nuclear is going to take its own time.
Thank you.